Konnichiwa! Welcome to Go to Market Japan. Today we'll be talking about localization. Let's go!
So, you've been running foreign brands in Japan. How do you localize them in general?
Good question. Localization is a must. You have to do it no matter what otherwise your business will fail. Today, I will explain to you how my company Exlimify localizes from 4 perspectives. We're gonna use the framework of 4 P's of product, price, place, and promotion. So first of all, product.
Product. How do you localize product to Japanese people?
Okay, actually, this is the most challenging category to localize because you have to change the product. It involves product like department or R&D, it takes time. But here's some way that you can do. There's like quite obvious things that don't sell in Japan. For example, let's say you live in America. How do you commute? How do you go to places?
In the States, I would drive a car.
Yeah, you have to drive. Okay, let's say you live in Tokyo or Osaka and you're 20 years old or 25 years old, even 30 years old. You drive?
No, taking a train must in Japan.
Train, yes, it's completely different. Let's say when you sell some commodities or like accessories, you have to assume that people take trains to go to places. So you can't carry big things.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
For example, backpack, messenger bag, or any types of bags. You have to organize stuff inside the bag, and so you can carry them, and also you can just put everything together in a car and then like drive. Ideally, a tiny backpack, so you can go anywhere. And then even on a train, sometimes in rush hour, you get really packed, right? So you can have it like a huge gym bag. It looks kind of odd and inconvenient. When you sell a product, you have to understand how people have a life. There's also one easy example, home appliances. In the kitchen, US or Canada, there's big oven, pizza and stuff.
Oh, the size is totally different in the States and in Japan.
Yeah, just too different. Fridge, coffee machine, knives, plates and everything. I would say it becomes a little challenging to sell something big because the space is quite limited. So that's how you start to think about localization. It's very easy actually. But there's also another way, a little more advanced way, once you establish your business operation here. Here's how. You can do some research on those marketplaces, for example, Amazon, Rakuten, what's selling. And also you can do research on categories, which categories are growing or going down. And then you find some, let's say, sweet spot or some opportunities. You produce the product targeting the specific categories. Actually, this is how I localize products. So I work really closely with those marketplaces and then get the internal data, insights, and make sure that the products that we are working on are attractive to this specific market. Let's say if you have an iPhone, yeah, you can sell this anywhere globally. This is one of the greatest products in the world. I don't think that's the case for most companies. You can create something iPhone, right? It takes so much time, innovation, investment.
Yeah, it's not realistic.
Not easy, right? Take a look at your key regions and get internal data and do research and then create a product that meets a specific demand. That's a lot better than create a single product that solves all the problems most businesses out there.
So you convey a study in marketplaces and you're gonna find the customer's needs and you do a kind of narrow targeting.
That's right. Okay, so the next category is price.
How do you determine the appropriate price?
First, you have cost of goods. That's not something you can change. You spend $100 to create product A and the cost is fixed already. Usually you set a MSRP approximately triple of the cost. So gross margin will be around 65 to 70%. That's a standard.
That's a Japanese standard or
global standard. It fluctuates due to FX or also inflation, but you can keep that in mind. 65 to 70%, that's the average gross margin ratio.
In Japan, do you make it higher or lower?
You mean prices?
Yeah, prices.
Usually, in my case, I price higher than the original. Here's why. So Japan is an island country. Geographically, it's isolated from the rest of the world. So things come to Japan from outside are really foreign compared to the US and Canada. Yeah, you guys are right next to each other and also speak the same language, but there's no one that speaks Japanese outside Japan. So everything is quite foreign to the people here. That's why things that come to Japan from outside can look different or can be defined in a different way. For example, famous shoe brand called Kohan from the US. I started wear them in college or right after college. In the US, they sell everywhere, even like Nordstrom Rack, and then they just honestly put them all over.
The concept of Kohan is like more casual in the United States.
I think they have a premium lines. I can see from outside, like Kohan Japan tries to be more premium. So let's say the original Kohan is position themselves here in terms of premium and commodity. They're here, but Kohan Japan tries to be here.
Oh, in Japan, it get higher, like rarity or...
In terms of value, they can price whatever they want, and then their campaigns and everything try to be more premium than the US, so they can sell at a higher price.
So there is a kind of like localized branding in Japan. They have like different branding in United States.
Yeah, for sure. It cannot be the same. Let's say you sell at Macy's. Macy's is a department store in the US, low to middle range. You sell only at the high-end department, tier 1 department store. There's already a huge discrepancy in terms of tiers that affects people's impression. So you sell here, so your products have to be good, premium. That's one of the examples. But also, there's an interesting story when the other way, foreign brand in Japan were selling cheaper or at the lower price.
Oh, the opposite strategy.
Completely opposite way, which is probably the UK premium fashion brand. They used to work with a Japanese company called Sanyo Shokai, so like an import-export company, and then they licensed the brand Burberry. So Sanyo was creating their own lines, clothing. They priced lower than the global one. What happened is when you come to Japan, the Burberry is actually cheaper. And then around 5 years ago, Burberry completely changed the strategy and then they stopped working with them. Now they are a lot more premium than before. But back then, 10 years ago or even like 20 years ago, I remember Japanese high school girls wear Burberry scarves in winter.
Oh, for Japanese high school?
High school girls, like 10, 15, 20 years ago, I think was a trend. Did you wear?
I think I was like too young.
Right. So now they are more premium, so it's not as easy for them before. So that changed. Next one is place.
So how do you choose channels?
Let's keep it simple. Choose the channels or places where there's many users.
How do you find it?
It's not that hard. Online, you can see which apps or which platforms are used most. Google, Yahoo for search, Line for message, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok for videos. Line them up and then you can choose which to start. So that's not that hard. And even for offline channels, you can do research. Pick a main cities, Tokyo, Osaka, Nagoya, Fukuoka, and also deep dive into stations. Okay, which station has the most traffic? Shinjuku is number 1 in terms of traffic, but there's a lot more. You can specify where to start. It just needs some time and research. So don't worry about it too much.
Can you give a specific example of how you choose places?
Okay, when you sell hardware, Amazon is gonna be most likely the place. You can take a look at how much they sell. You can take a look at their market share. That's very easy. I can also give you another example of where not to go. For example, Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Is it not really used in Japan anymore?
Nah. But you know who's using Facebook now?
My father, old generation.
Older generations and also for business. So in the previous video, I explained that Facebook here in Japan is used like LinkedIn. So when you sell something to women, you don't use Facebook at all.
Personally, no, I do not.
Women fashion, definitely no. Cosmetics, No. That's how you can identify a place for your business. So next is promotion.
So how do you localize promotion?
Let's take a look at the great example of Starbucks.
Starbucks.
Okay, so this is a US Starbucks website.
I would say it's like so simple.
And it started with membership or join Starbucks rewards. The next one is drinks and food and the gift card.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
It's like pretty short.
Yeah, concise and short. Then when you take a look at the Japan version.
Oh, this one is what I'm used to. Seasonal version.
Yes. So the first view on the Starbucks Japan homepage is super seasonal. And then next is summer gift. And then seasonal goods. So it's all about the season. Now we're shooting in July in summer season. Yeah, you can tell it's super fresh. And you can see summers here. And then down below, there's columns, very long.
Yeah, there are like so many.
More than 10,
columns.
yeah. And the online store and lots of products, coffee.
Oh, it also says seasonal recommendation. It's like focus on season again.
And the gift. And then stories, people, some blog articles and updates and press release, boom. So I would say like twice as long as the US one. From outside, we can literally see they have completely different promotions. What you have to notice how you can do this. Usually, when you are a global company or the headquarters, what do you think? Okay, we're gonna run this campaign. Is that global? Does that make sense to other regions? Most likely, no. That's why you have to change. You have to adapt to each market. I think Starbucks has a completely different marketing calendars, promotional calendars. Plus we do this, in September we do this. As long as each campaign is on brand, you don't always have to do the same thing. And again, let's say for the people on the other side of the world, Brazilian people, can we sell like this seasonal thing, this lemon peach to Brazilian people? No.
It's not really appealing.
Yeah, so, but that sounds really easy when you run a business globally, and you really often misunderstand that a single promotion can solve everything, which is really not the case. Maybe in your home region, yes, two different people, two different countries. You have to keep that in mind. And then also I can explain to you how you can create local promotions. Again, we saw the seasonality, right?
Yeah.
It really helps because we already know what's coming up. For example, in August, what's the major event for Japanese people?
For Japanese people, like summer festival.
Summer festival. Also Obon, it's like a semi-holiday. Like we go back to the hometown and pray for ancestors during Obon season. You can think in August it's super hot and then there's like festivals. Your campaign should be fresh. Your images, for example, your copies have to be fresh air, refresh something. In Japan, in summer, it's super hot, uncomfortably, more than 35 degrees, and the humidity-wise, 60 to 80%. They always look for something cool.
Yeah, that's right.
You can add that essence to your campaign, and that's how you start localization.
For example, last summer, I don't really remember, there was a like limited flavor frappuccino, watermelon, and it looks really fresh and like juicy, and it's really like satisfies Japanese people.
Right. As I explained before, in April or late March, Starbucks and then many brands ran cherry blossom campaigns. So the streets, stores look very pink. It's so different and it's only a couple weeks, but I think that's a great example of localization.
When it comes to copywriting, what do you have to care about?
First and foremost, you have to have a native Japanese speaker. I would say 100%. You can use ChatGPT or some translation and then create some copies, but you have to proofread. And also, you should do brainstorming to create copies that make sense. For example, I use ChatGPT to create like some catchphrases. You know, what's important is a prompt. And then you can give some prompt in, for example, English. You have to give some local perspective to the prompt. Then also check what the content coming out of the ChatGPT or generative AI. So again, you have to have a local or native Japanese speaker. Ideally, they should understand both original copy and the local ones.
Can you give us some example of copywriting?
Okay, let me give you a really easy one. So now the Paris Olympic is coming up, and then we have this Olympic campaign. The English copy, the original copy was show off your country's colors. And then in Japanese, we said 日本代表カラーに部屋を染めよう. If you translate this Japanese copy literally, it says like dye your room with Japan national team's colors.
So they have different meanings.
Yeah, completely different. What we want to tell to the customer, you can show off your country's colors, but we're talking in Japanese, so your country means Japan. That's why we changed it up. So that's how you start to change copies. Do not translate directly. I think that's when you start really fail. Oh, we have Japanese websites or copies, but that's irrelevant to your target audience.
The relevancy is important.
Yes, 100%. May you say relevance is important. When you localize, again, you have to stop and think, okay, is this relevant? And then if you cannot check if that's relevant or not, you have to have a local proofreader or like translator, copywriter, and then that's one of our scopes of work. And then we excel at like copywriting, localization. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this business. So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit the like and subscribe button. See you in the next video. Sayonara!